they willfully ignored this faulty transmission line. Now they want to charge ratepayers and we victims.
San Diegans are now weighing in on SDG&E's plan to pass millions in wildfire costs over to ratepayers.
People don't have enough money to eat unless they have enough money to buy so much gasoline.
Protests over rising gas prices in Mexico are spilling over into the U.S. What's next for a controversial painting taken off the wall of the U.S. Capitol building by a San Diego congressman? And one of California's most famous sites falls victim to this weekend's storm. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. The California Public Utilities Commission is in Escondido today, gathering testimony on San Diego Gas and Electric's request to charge customers $379 million. The utility says that's what's left unpaid after the 2007 wildfires killed 2 people, burned nearly 200 acres, and destroyed more than 1,300 structures. Critics say shareholders should foot the bill. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson has more.
The utility paid more than $2 billion in payments and settlements after the utility was found to be responsible for starting a Santa Ana-driven wildfire back in 2007. Now, insurance paid for more than half of the costs of that fire. Settlements from Cox Communications, a tree trimming company, an electrical contractor paid for all but $379 million. Critics say SDG&E shouldn't be rewarded for starting the destructive fire. They want the shareholders to pay. And there's concern the utility will take risks in the future if regulators allow ratepayers to bail them out.
The problem with reimbursement by ratepayers, the ever expanding and deep pool of money that they go to when they don't want to have their shareholders pay, or their executives who oftentimes own a lot of stock in the company, is that you create the issue of moral hazard. In other words, you create the conditions with awarding for this kind of thing for more awards in the future.
The utility says it played by the rules, and that's why it should be allowed to pass on those costs to ratepayers.
We operated a safe system at that time. We appropriately designed, engineered, maintained, inspected these facilities. These facilities were inspected, the vegetation was inspected. There were factors beyond our control that caused these factors and really caused these fires. And really the common denominator in all of the fires was this unprecedented Santa Ana wind event.
State officials conclude that the utility was responsible for starting the Witch Creek fire and 2 other smaller fires in this part of the county that year. SDG&E contends that 100-mile-an-hour Santa Ana winds created a threat that they couldn't adequately prepare for. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
Protests against rising gas prices continued across Mexico over the weekend. Higher gas prices mean people can't afford food or other necessities. This was the message from a small group of people who gathered outside the Mexican consulate in San Diego today. They came with signs and a declaration.
Peña Nieto doesn't care about Mexicans.
Lourdes Jimenez lives in San Diego and says she's worried about her family in Mexico.
People don't have enough money to eat unless they have enough money to buy so much gasoline.
She says the problem is bigger than the 20% gasoline price hike.
It's terrible when you see the people working in the factories and they make $50 a week for a whole week of work. And $50 for a family of 4 is nothing.
On January 1st, the Mexican government began deregulating fuel prices, doing away with subsidies. Ever since, there have been widespread protests. Saturday, 7 state officers were injured when a protester drove his truck into police guarding a fuel distribution terminal in Rosarito. Later that night, unrest at the border led California Highway Patrol to close southbound lanes of the 5 and 805 leading into Mexico. Demonstrator Joanna Hernandez says people in the U.S. shouldn't ignore what's happening.
It's unrealistic that people are still going to be able to make a living and bring food to the table for their kids. It is tremendously unfair, and I'm here to show support.
At least a half dozen people have died in the protest in Mexico. San Diego's Republican congressmen want to know what the local VA is doing to improve health care for veterans. A recent report shows a decline in health scores for San Diego's VA system. The rankings are based on things like in-hospital complications, readmission rates for heart attack patients, and turnover for registered nurses. San Diego's system was one of 5 in the nation that saw declines. Congressman Darrell Issa and Duncan Hunter say that's unacceptable. They're asking the director of the VA in San Diego to give them a list of changes being made in response to the report and how those changes will improve care for veterans. The painting that San Diego Congressman Duncan Hunter personally removed from a Capitol wall is going back up. A Democratic representative from Missouri says he plans on returning the painting to its Capitol Hill display, citing the First Amendment. It was done by a high school student in his district and was reportedly inspired by the protests in Ferguson in 2014. It depicts a pig in a police uniform aiming a gun at African-American protesters. Hunter said he found the painting inappropriate. It has been on display for several months. The University of California is getting ready for a system-wide strike at all 10 UC campuses tomorrow, including UC San Diego. There are already picket lines at UCLA. The walkout involves clerical, administrative, and supportive personnel who work on the campuses and at the UC medical centers. They say they haven't gotten a raise in 4 years. Their union says the university system is not bargaining in good faith. The UC says it's still bargaining and has offered a raise over the next 6 years. UC leaders say a strike would be unlawful and counterproductive. Kristen Gaspar became San Diego County's newest supervisor today, replacing Dave Roberts in a district that represents parts of North County. The former Encinitas mayor unseated Roberts in a tight race. Roberts had been the only Democrat on the 5-member Board of Supervisors, which oversees county government. Gaspar says one of her top priorities will be addressing homelessness. New digital tools allow users to see dangerous particle pollution rising up from places around the globe and spreading on wind currents in nearly real time. And you can check out these sophisticated 3D maps right on your computer or tablet. Ingrid Lobet with our media partner iNewsSource has this week's News and Numbers.
It's a new opportunity to really see the pollution that may kill as many as 1 in every 9 people worldwide. The particle pollution mostly comes from combustion, from diesel fuel in trucks, trains, ships, and heavy equipment, from wildfires, agricultural field burning, refineries and power plants, and industrial boilers. At the household level, a fireplace or frying pan. The new 3D app is the brainchild of a computer scientist living in Beijing, Jan Bokio, who was concerned about the pollution his kids were breathing. He ended up pulling in all the pollution data produced by government and satellites, and then he created a new air monitor with crowdsourced funding. Now they're being deployed in places like Cambodia, Italy, Pakistan, the Philippines, and Saudi Arabia. The name of his company is Air Visual. Bokio's goal: cover the whole globe with data points. Oh, and San Diego's particle pollution, it's been getting better. Depending on how bad wildfires are in any given year, it seems to be just on the cusp of health limits. The federal government says the region complies on particle pollution. The state of California says not quite. I'm Ingrid Lobet for KPBS partner iNewsSource.
President-elect Donald Trump went on the attack via Twitter again today, this time at actress Meryl Streep, who made him a big topic of her acceptance speech at last night's Golden Globes. AP reporter Kelly Daschle has the story.
But there was one performance this year that stunned me. It sank its hooks in my heart.
Meryl Streep's acceptance speech after receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Golden Globes Sunday night turned out to be the opening volley in a war of words with President-elect Donald Trump. Streep never mentioned Trump by name, but it was crystal clear who her target was.
It was that moment when the person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country imitated a disabled reporter, someone he outranked in privilege, power, and the capacity to fight back.
Trump responded in a series of early morning tweets calling Streep one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood and a Hillary flunky who lost big. He also defended himself, insisting he wasn't mocking New York Times reporter Sergei Kovaleski in this campaign appearance, but rather showing how he groveled after changing a story.
And now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
When he is attacked, he likes to attack back. He always punches back, no matter who's doing the attacking. And so we've seen him weigh in on things that presidents don't typically weigh in on.
A practice often criticized as unpresidential, but Lair points out there are no signs Trump will stop tweeting once he's in the White House. So good or bad, he may be redefining how presidents communicate.
These norms that we have around the presidency are more tradition than anything else. There's no rule saying the president can't tweet. But it does raise real questions in terms of governance. Do your words carry the same weight if you're talking about Meryl Streep when you need to tell the American people that say they're entering a war?
Reaction from the public was divided on the Trump-Streep beef. The Committee to Protect Journalists said it got a spike in donations after the Golden Globe appearance, but there was backlash from some conservatives, even Trump critic Meghan McCain, who said the actress's words revealed, quote, why Trump won. Kelly Daschle, Associated Press.
Remember this site from last week? The Hollywood sign altered to read Hollyweed. A Los Angeles artist turned himself in as the culprit today. 30-year-old Zachary Fernandez was booked on a charge of trespassing and released on a $1,000 bail. In less than a week, San Diegans will know whether the Chargers will stay or leave for Los Angeles. That means team fans may have seen their last NFL season in San Diego. But as KPBS's Matt Hoffman explains, that didn't bring them to the stadium.
If you thought you saw a lot of empty seats at Qualcomm Stadium this year, you did. Attendance at Chargers games this season was down nearly 10,000 fans a game compared to 2015. That means there were 78,000 more empty seats this season, around 6 times the capacity of the San Diego Sports Arena. If the NFL still had its TV blackout rule for poorly attended games, local Charger fans would have only watched one home game from the couch. Fan disenchantment may have come from a losing season or from news of the Chargers' efforts to move to Los Angeles. But those same facts were true of 2015. The Chargers did finish 5-11 in 2016, but they donned a 4-12 record in 2015 when they were averaging 66,000 fans a game. Across the NFL, television ratings were down 8% in 2016. The Chargers have until January 15th to make a decision on whether to move to LA. For KPBS News, I'm Matt Hoffman.
A former San Diego University running back is going into the College Football Hall of Fame. The National Football Foundation chose Marshall Faulk as one of the 13 new Hall of Famers. He played for the Aztecs from 1991 to 93. He went on to a Pro Football Hall of Fame career with the Indianapolis Colts and the then St. Louis Rams. Of course, they're now known as the LA Rams. A San Diego teacher is in the running for National Teacher of the Year. Megan Gross teaches special education at Del Norte High School in 4S Ranch. She's been in the field for 9 years. 3 of those have been at Del Norte. She's an advocate for fully integrating students of different abilities levels into classroom and school activities. Gross is one of 5 finalists. The winner will be announced in the spring. Emergency crews in part of California rushed in today to take advantage of the one-day break between storms, rescuing stranded people and assessing the damage after the heaviest rain in a decade. Throughout Northern California and into Central Valley, rivers and streams are overflowing, causing flooding in and around the capital city.
The waters won't completely recede probably until the end of the week, so we've still got multiple days to be monitoring the water and the weather.
Forecasters are predicting another storm for the northern regions tomorrow. Flood risk for the coming storm, though, are expected to be lower because there will be more falling snow than rain in the Sierra. The storms in Northern California have added to major growth in the Sierra snowpack. KPBS science reporter David Wagner has an update from the KPBS Drought Tracker.
The snowpack is now higher than normal for this time of year, breaking a stubborn trend from previous years in the drought. Monday morning's average Sierra snow measurement came in at 56% of what normally falls by April 1st. That's an increase of more than 30 percentage points since just last week. Scripps Institution of Oceanography climate researcher David Pierce helped compile this data.
There has been quite a substantial uptick in the amount of snow in the Sierra Nevada due to these storms in the past 7 days.
This year's rainfall has also been exceeding levels seen in recent years. To see the latest numbers for yourself and compare them to previous years in the drought, go to kpbs.org/drought tracker. David Wagner, KPBS News.
The sun came out for a little while this afternoon, but more rain is on the way. Larissa Abreu has tonight's forecast.
It was a stormy start to the work week across California. We've been dealing with just a plume of moisture over much of the Golden State. And you can see that some of that rain is beginning to taper off, but portions of northern and central California will remain quite unsettled, with most of the action staying north of Los Angeles as well as San Diego. Here's a closer look at home. We've been dealing with the rain pretty much all day, but that rain continues to shift east and it is moving away from the region. And it should be a quiet night, rather cloudy with those temperatures down into the 50s. And then as we head towards the rest of the region, we're looking at pretty similar conditions with clearing skies here. We'll have clear skies out in Borrego Springs, lows falling down into the mid-40s. We'll be at 33 degrees in Mount Laguna, 38 in Campo. Temperatures also in the upper 40s in Chula Vista. We're at 53 in San Diego. Once again, overcast skies will remain a fact as we head towards our overnight. Now for Tuesday, here's a look at this map. As I mentioned, most of the precip will remain north of Los Angeles and San Diego, with rain impacting much of northern and central areas of California. High elevation snow also expected. And we're looking at unsettled weather here through Wednesday, and we may even see the possibility for some of that moisture to creep south as we head towards Wednesday. So we do have a couple of showers in the forecast, with spotty showers continuing across the coast as we head towards Thursday. Temperatures in the 60s here for the rest of the week. Finally, into the day on Friday, we'll begin to dry on out. We'll have a morning shower towards the afternoon. It'll turn out partly sunny. We head into the weekend. It's going to be nice on the coast. We're at 65 degrees. Lots of sunshine here to kick off the weekend. But take a look at this. Inland valleys will see lots of clouds on Tuesday. Tuesday night, that's when that disturbance will be bringing in the rain. Spotty showers here for Wednesday. Same deal on Thursday. So you certainly want to plan in advance. Definitely budget enough time for your morning commute throughout the rush as well. We're looking at a high of 64 degrees Wednesday afternoon. Cooler as we head towards the second half of the work week, with highs in the upper 50s. We'll see a shower in spots on Friday. An umbrella still going to be needed for the next several days. And when was the last time that we spoke about ongoing weather across Southern California? That's exactly what's expected out in the mountains, with a chillier end to the work week. We'll be right around 45 degrees Friday afternoon with sunshine and some clouds. We kick off the weekend with lots of sunshine around and a high of 51 degrees. Over in the desert, we should remain nice and dry through Wednesday, but on Thursday, that's the next chance we'll see spotty showers around in the afternoon. Temperatures will also be a little on the cool side, right at 62 Thursday afternoon. We remain sunny and cool for Friday, and then we kick off the weekend. Temperatures rebound right back into the upper 60s. We'll see plenty of sunshine just in time for the weekend. For KPBS News, I am Larissa Abreu.
This weekend's storms toppled a famous giant sequoia. The tree known as Pioneer Cabin had a huge tunnel carved into it. It came down during heavy rains on Sunday. The tree was in Calaveras Big Trees State Park. The tunnel was hollowed out in the 1880s and was a big hit with tourists who could drive right through it.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next News Hour. Our series, The Obama Years, continues with a look at the fate of the president's signature achievement. That's Monday on the PBS News Hour.
Nuclear is our largest, essentially zero-carbon source of electricity, nearly 20%.
Whether you like nuclear power or not, there is nuclear power. They've generated waste already, and it's sitting there.
Nuclear waste disposal was always the problem that we would solve later.
We have about 74,000 tons of spent fuel from commercial nuclear power plants.
It's extremely radioactive. It has to be shielded. It has to be cooled.
and protected for a long period of time.
We think that nuclear energy is good for America. Store it, take care of it, be a part of the solution.
Are you taking advantage of economically depressed communities to site these facilities?
It's an energy electricity source that we've used. It's going to have ramifications that will go for time beyond human history.
Nuclear Waste Town airs tomorrow night at 11 on KPBS television. The documentary is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Every day, more people in San Diego are driving to work, and over the last year, fewer are riding public transit. This is bad news for the city. San Diego has a climate action plan that hinges on thousands of residents ditching their cars for greener transportation. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen takes a look at why the trend is going the wrong way.
Every morning, thousands of San Diegans get up and they make a choice. How will I get to work today? Will I drive, carpool? Will I take a bus or trolley? For most of us, the choice is easy. Driving is usually faster, more reliable, and more convenient. And with low gas prices, it's often cheaper, too.
I mean, if gas prices were twice as high, I'm sure it'd be a different story.
Paul Jablonski is CEO of the Metropolitan Transit System. In the last fiscal year, MTS measured a 4.3% drop in ridership. That's a loss of more than 4 million passenger trips over the previous year. He says there are probably several reasons why. Uber and Lyft are competing. High employment and low interest rates mean more people can afford a car. And as housing prices skyrocket, more people can't afford to live close to where they work.
So there's more cars on the road, they're traveling more, and our riderships are down. I mean, it doesn't take much to draw that conclusion.
While most of us would rather drive, that comes at a cost. There's more traffic congestion, and that makes for more air pollution. And MTS is getting less fare revenue, which means less money to improve services. San Diego City Councilman and MTS board member David Alvarez says this is cause for concern.
The system is important to help us function as a society in general. Secondly, as we see the problems and the reality of climate change, trying to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions due to transportation costs, primarily gasoline and emissions from vehicles, we need to look at alternatives.
Alvarez says the city is already paving the way for more transit ridership by encouraging housing and commercial development around bus and trolley stops. He says this serves a dual purpose.
We're at a cross point, I think, in San Diego where all of these goals have sort of come together, where we need to build housing, but we also can do it in a way that's environmentally friendly, and we can accomplish the Climate Action Plan goals, which are so critical to the future of San Diego.
But the city has already measured the effectiveness of its high-density growth plans in neighborhoods like North Park and Hillcrest, and it found they will get some people out of cars, but not enough to meet the city's goals. So what else can the city do?
As an economist, I would be remiss not to point out that people respond to price.
Mark Jacobson is an economics professor at UCSD specializing in transportation and the environment. He says one of the most effective ways to curb driving is to simply make it more expensive.
You can't force people to take one particular mode of transit. So it's either a stick or a carrot. You can raise the price of driving in one way or another. There's many ways to do that. Could raise the price of driving by making gasoline more expensive or harder to get. Right, so that's all sort of the stick approach. People don't necessarily like that, but it is going to encourage people to switch to transit because it becomes expensive or difficult to do other things.
And for a double whammy, you can use the carrot and the stick. Government can take the money it gets from making driving more expensive, say a local tax on gas or parking, and give it to public transit, increase frequencies, build new bus and trolley lines. California is already doing this to an extent with its cap-and-trade system, but San Diego has its own goals and will likely need its own solutions. Unfortunately, Jacobson says, the solutions that work best are unpopular. Neither politicians nor voters have shown any appetite for raising the cost of driving. MTS is working on plans to increase ridership with the limited resources it has, but CEO Jablonski admits they can only go so far.
Unfortunately, I think that given where we are with ridership, with revenue, with sales tax revenues, everything right now, we're probably not going to see a lot of added service on the street in the short term if things keep going the way they are.
As for San Diego's climate plan, it expects the city to triple the share of public transit riders in the next 4 years. But critics say the city is already lowering expectations. Officials believe the Climate Action Plan is a mandate for reducing greenhouse gas emissions by any means. So if the city finds another way to get there, it can fail the transit goals and still claim success. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
A programming note, tomorrow night at 6, President Obama is scheduled to give his farewell address. We'll be carrying that speech as it happens on KPBS TV and radio. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.